Hello and welcome to the Experiencing Love podcast. I'm your host, Philip Jocks, and I'm so glad that you're here. Today, I want to go back to the roots of this podcast and how I used to start. I used to start with the question, how can I experience even more of God's love right now? How can I experience even more of God's love right now? Right before recording this episode, I did a meditation. I did my priming and I looked at my poster. Priming puts me in that state. It resets me mentally. It reminds me of the things that I'm grateful for and the things that I'm trying to create. They're not just goals, they're outcomes. And then my poster is a representation of the new life that I'm creating. It has a long list of my values and what I need to do to feel them on a daily basis. This list isn't something that I have to hit every single check mark to feel it all. It's a list that states a value and says, I feel love anytime I think about God's love, and then continues the list. It's not a checklist, it's a menu. So this poster is my menu for my values, my towards values. There's also a list of my away from values, the values that I try my hardest to not feel those things. And that'll be things like fear and overwhelm, doubt, inaction. And I make those as difficult as possible to experience, meaning I feel the good more often than I do the bad. What else is on my poster is my relationship vision. It's this short 5 paragraphs that describes my ideal relationship in my future. That part especially lights me up recently because it reminds me of that shifting mindset where I went from focusing on what do I not want to what do I want. I feel like so many people, me included, are so focused on the things we don't want that we end up attracting those things into our life. Whenever I watch any videos online of people complaining or criticizing or outright stating all the bad things that are happening in their life, I can't help but wonder, how often do they talk about it and think about it, like in these videos? And I wonder if that has an influence on their life and if they're inviting it. Because then I also see videos of people on the opposite side of the spectrum who are incredibly grateful. And those videos are always talking about the things that they do have, the things that they have created. So when I read my relationship vision, I know that that's what I'm creating. I may not be where I want to be now, but I know that with that vision in mind, I have a destination to reach. I have an outcome to create. And with my relationship vision, any relationship that looks like that, to me, is bound to feel incredible. What else is on my poster is my mission statement. I, Philip Jocks, see, feel, hear, and know that the purpose of my life is to be a loving gift for myself and others. I've noticed recently as I've been thinking about what I've been doing for the past, say, 2-3 weeks, it's that I haven't been as much of a loving gift as I could be. Not for myself and not for others. I've been quiet. I've been holding myself back. And that's not a gift to anyone. I have gifts to share with the world, and the longer I stay in the shadows, the less the world gets to experience those gifts. The same goes for you. There's things that only you can do, only you can say, only you can feel, only you can share. The longer you wait to share them, the longer the world has to wait for your gifts. I have my power virtues on there. I am courage. I am love. I am determination. I am excitement. Part of becoming a new person is creating a new identity. That's the identity I chose for myself. I'm so much more than that, but those are the things that I really needed to embrace. I needed to take those on and embody them because I need those 4 power virtues to achieve the 4 goals that I set. These 4 goals are goals that will be done by the end of this year. I will be in a loving and passion-filled relationship. I will be in Fiji for life and wealth mastery. I will be able to take Adam to Date with Destiny in person. And I will own my own biocharger. The beautiful thing about goals and outcomes is, like visions, they don't have to make sense to everyone. You don't have to sit there and explain why you want something or what something means. It just has to make sense to you. If you're able to look at it, look at your statements, look at your goals, look at your outcomes, and you know what they mean and they light you up inside, that's all that matters. If you have a team that's going to help you achieve those goals, it's your job to explain to them what they need to know, but they don't need to see the whole vision unless you choose to let them in on it. Just know that sometimes only you will be able to fully see your vision. For the life of me, I can't remember where this analogy comes from, but there's this analogy about your vision and how it has to do with your prescription. Like, imagine you had glasses. God gave you glasses to see your vision. The universe gave you glasses to see your vision. And with your prescription, you see it so clearly, so defined, and you know exactly why you have to keep moving forward. But the people around you and the people in your life, they're going to have a different prescription. They're not going to see things the same way you do. So that means you can't just give them your glasses and expect them to see the same thing. What I've chosen to do is, for the people that don't see the same vision I see, I'll just show them with results. To mix analogies, they say hindsight is 20/20. People will see very clearly when it's already done, it's already in my past, exactly what my vision was. I don't need to give them my glasses. So these goals make sense to me and they light me up inside. Same thing goes for some of the quotes that I have for future me. I have been primed by God to love since the day I was born. My masculine is always within. I can tap into it whenever I need to. The secret to living is giving. I live my life in turquoise and yellow. I'm a fire and metal, and I appreciate and learn from the woods, earths, and waters in my life. You see, some of those are just not going to make sense unless you have the same experiences that I have. Or I could sit there and try to explain it to you. But for me, this is my vision. And at the very end, the last thing I read on this poster every single time is, how can I experience even more of God's love right now? That's my primary question. When things are going great, when things are going rough, I turn back to that primary question and I ask myself, how can I experience even more of God's love right now? If I'm grateful now, is there something that I could be even more grateful for? If I'm feeling scared or worried or anxious, is there something that I can remember to be grateful for? Something I can remember to love and appreciate so that the fear doesn't control me. Fear is just imagination undirected. Fear and faith are the same thing. It's a belief about the future. But faith is having a belief and trust that things will work out. Whereas a fear is having this belief that either things won't work out or your mind just starts wandering and going to the worst places. So I choose faith over fear because fear doesn't move me towards my goals. I hide when I'm afraid. Some people run and some people get angry and fight. But when I have faith, I move forward, and I move forward with love. When I read that poster and I say, how can I experience even more of God's love right now? How can you experience even more of God's love right now? I'm primed. I'm ready. I'm thinking about love, and I feel it. I feel it because it's no longer just thinking about love. My heart beats for love. My blood pumps for love. I move forward for love. And if and when I ever forget that, I just need to remember the love that's within. I'm doing everything I'm doing now for love. I'm doing it to give love. I'm doing it to feel love. I'm doing it to experience love. I'm a whole 37 episodes into this podcast, and there's still days that I wonder, how come I chose this title, Experiencing Love? I know why I decided on it, and it was part of my faith. When I first decided to start a podcast and I was surrounded by fear, the thing that kept me going was love and experiencing love. And now I start to think, I don't really talk about experiencing love all that much. And I started to realize that I think it's because I'm experiencing love all the time. And I experience love in different ways. And that's just the point. I dip back and forth. Sometimes an episode is going to be heavily influenced by love, and sometimes it's going to be influenced by the result of love. It's always about love. Sometimes there's even episodes where I might dip into fear as a show of example on how love gets me out of fear. I'll say this once and I'll say it again. There is always so much to experience fearfulness for every day. And at the same time, there's so much to experience love about. What's wrong is always available, but so is what's right. It's time I look around with a smile on my face and love in my heart. I say it's time because every single day, it's a conscious decision to do it again and again. It's not just a habit, it's a lifestyle. It's a way of thinking, it's a way of being. And that's what I choose to be. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, remembering love and feeling it. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one. I love you.